networking, particularly on the network and network security since last 16 years. I'm currently working as a senior principal network engineer, network security engineer, one of the healthcare. So, and we've been teaching this network and network related stuff to various students from. Are you able to see my screen? Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have been teaching the CCNA and network related courses since last 5 to 7 years. We've been teaching in hundreds of students, and even you can see the number of placements that were delivered in last couple of years from AimNxt. So I'm just scrolling down, but there are various roles and engineers, particularly on network and network related stuff that we've been trying to place various engineers in different roles, and it's been our practice and passion to try and get the placements done. Maybe that's a brief about our placements. You can go and refer our AimNxt placements. Maybe I'll talk last one or a minute on this part as well again. So this course particularly talks about network and network security. It all depends, the kind of course that you're opting for. If you're opting for an L1 where you are very fresher out of the college, or just working as an help desk, or in a different domain, we always prefer you to start with the L1 training, network L1 training. Um, so, but if you're already in a working professional where you already have a 1-2 years of experience, and you want to shift your job into the network or network security, or the other domains which are related to network and network security, yes, like cybersecurity or SOC analyst or IOC analyst, NOC analyst, those are also supportable related to this course. So it depends on kind of course that you're opting. But majorly, this talks about L1 and L2. L2 talks a more deep and depth analysis about FortiGate and Palo Alto firewalls as well, with the live scenarios and kind of config examples as well. It's not about the theory, but we also guide and talk more on the practical and practical knowledge and hands-on experience on how to do these setups once you complete your course, and then how to do those stuff technically when you go into your first job. Even that the thorough practice and thorough experience will be delivered as part of the course. So I'll just quickly go through. I'll make it very short and brief, kind of a session this is, because it's a kind of a demo, so I'm not going into much technicalities. So as mentioned, AimNxt always focuses on getting the placements right. Understanding your eligibility. For example, understanding your capability, your understanding capacity, and which role does actually suits to you. Based on that, we mentor you and we'll try to place you. Even if you go and see here, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You see this girl placed in system engineer in TCS, but the another girl who is more interested in Python and developing, right? So we try to endeavor you, enhance you in your interest, and also the industry's experts. We will keep on monitoring you, understanding you, understanding your interests, and based on that, we will also suggest the possible courses. That being said, if you opt for network, even in network, you have multiple roles to attain. In a way, you see these project coordinators. The Yes, even they need a network knowledge or the infrastructure knowledge. Like you see, project associate trainees, there are a lot of NOC associates, you see associate network engineers, and network intern, right? There are various roles we have, but for all these, the foundation course is the one that we are teaching as an L1 course. In this, we actually have detailed lab scenarios, topic wise. Again, even you can actually reach us on demand basis. For example, you need another 2 extra classes for any a topic or any um, syllabus in the course, right? You can have a one-to-one session as well, a part of the classes that we are taking out. So you can also have that extra classes. So you will be having, 4-hour lab on any 4 accepted weekends throughout the course that you can opt out, where you will be having some predefined, the modules where you can practice them. Not only that, you will be having, a mentor who is watching you, what exactly you're doing, what the mistake that you're doing, or what kind of, you know, the the process that you're following to fix an issue or to understand an issue or to configure something, even that will be done. So the hands-on lab availability, right? It's not only just, GNS3 and packet tracer. You will be having, real-time devices. You will be touching the real-time devices, real-time network gears, and you will be seeing it. You will be configuring it. You will be resetting it, or you will be building that from the scratch. And any additional things that you can still work on the GNS and packet tracer, but real-time always available in the lab of AimNxt, where you can go and make your hands dirty and, do whatever the stuff you want and reset it, reboot it, blah blah, everything you can practice and do. But whatever you do, right, you should document it, and in a way like, what exactly you did, what is the outcome of that. That would be easy for us to, you know see and correct it, in a way like, the configuration that you did is wrong, or the configuration having some amendments, or the kind of CLS scripting that you did having some changes needed. So those kind of suggestions would be given on top of what exactly you did. So not only that, we also provide the mentoring services where, the two special class on how to crack these L1 and L2 interviews, what exactly market is expecting from you, how should you prepare yourself for an interview, or for a networking interview, or network security interview, or a NOC analyst interview, or SOC analyst interview. So we'll guide you, we'll train you how to, answer those questions, how to prepare for that interview end to end. It's not just, we are teaching you the technicalities, but also mentor you on how to crack this L1 and L2. So there are a lot of technologies in the market related to the network security, and, application securities. But we'll just start with the network and network security, but we'll also guide you towards the path of the cyber and information security models as well. In 1 or 2 special classes, we'll describe you the paths that are available. For example, you're a CSE student interested going to the cybersecurity. Entering cybersecurity is, initially as an is very tough. So you have to understand, you must understand the network and infrastructure. Then we'll guide you towards that path, how to enter into that cybersecurity path, or information security path, or compliance security path, or governance security path. So these are all will be guided as part of this course, along with the network and infrastructure knowledge. Okay. And there is a special career guidance, even after the course completion, where you can reach us. You can in touch with our HR department or our accounts department. Still, you'll be getting the references even after the course completion. Even if you have an interview scheduled with some XYZ company and you want some guidance, you can actually schedule a quick meeting with us for 30 minutes, and, can discuss, like, okay, I have an interview tomorrow. What should I prepare? How should I prepare? Yes, that is dedicated for you. That 1 hour odd class for you, a special time for you will be given, where you can actually talk and get that, fear out of your minds before you go to the interview. Even that will be provided. So there will be a special IT class on the leadership and what IT market need, or how to select the right career path, because there are bunch of technologies available in the market. Even you will be having some confusion how to select, or what is the right path for me to enter. Every individual having, different mindset or different interest, where uh, mm, based on your interest, based on your academics, based on your learning path, so we'll guide you what is the best path, or how to select the best career path. It's not just we are guiding, it is in line with your interest, in line with your capacity, in line with your capabilities, enhancing your capabilities, understanding your IQ levels a bit, and, capitalizing on top of that with, a good 1 or 2 or 3 suggestions, where you can literally go around and into the market and see yourself. It's not just, in one fledge, where you would get, and you get the right your accurate and right job. But it's a continuous process. Even if you get an L1 or a basic L1 job, but how to grow from there, you need that kind of guidance, right? So we are always available to you in a way as part of this course or after the course for next 90 days. Or even later that, our HR departments are still available to you, where you can still reach us in a different channels and can still get same kind of guidance. So as part of the network, next 5-10 minutes, I'm going to talk about the very key concepts of the L1 course, where to start with the basic OSI and TCP/IP models. We will teach end to end this, because this is the very base and foundation for any infrastructure engineer to start their careers. Maybe it's if you guys are anyone is from CSC background particularly, you might already aware of what is OSI and TCP/IP protocols, but we actually deep dive into what industry is working on, how industry is working in related to OSI and TCP IP models, how they are important in real time. How do you troubleshoot? How do you understand it? How do you, make that into the production environment? How do you work on those OSI layers? What is the benefit of understanding the OSI layers at the depth? Because any network course or any network engineers, the core subject is OSI and TCP IP models, where everything in day-to-day life, right? You need that. Even today morning, I'm troubleshooting one of the issue. The reference for any troubleshooting, reference for any working methodology is OSI layer. So we will deep dive into that OSI TCP model, where that gives you a very fair understanding about what is this network, how it is working, how a laptop communicates within a server, how a system working, how an enterprise network is built, how this server and client mechanisms working. All this end-to-end communication is working, right? How these data centers are designed and working. You will understand with this TCP IP models and related topologies. It's not just in a way say TCP model, but a related topologies, how they are built, how they are designed to operate on top of OSA models. So we'll try to complete that course in a very at a depth level, even for the L1 course. I'm saying L1 also, because that is the foundational thing for anyone to start with. We'll explain that end to end within a real-time examples, within a proper examples, within encapsulation. We have in a proper documentation for that from Cisco Press and Todd Lamley. So we will end to end give the slides, and we'll also explain in a very brief manner for your understanding in a very easy format. It's because these are a technology and technical things where create a lot of confusion, but still we are habituated, or we are trying to do that in a very easy manner, with a good material and slides. And the other concepts like IP addressing, which is one of the core topic for any networking engineer, the IP addressing and subnet masking. So that will be discussed in very detail with the CIDR subnetting. How do we use in real time? How to design this IP schema? How the big organizations have this IP schema managed, and how they are controlling and managing all these info blocks. We call it as info blocks, where managing different IP subnets, DNS related stuff. See, all the trainers of AimNxt, let me tell you why I'm very confident on saying this. All our AimNxt trainers, lab technicians are working professionals. It means they are also they're 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 doing their regular jobs, where they know the real time issues, they know the real time diagrams, real time scenarios, topologies, where they will bring that knowledge into your minds while explaining or troubleshooting or while configuring the things. So that real time, it's not like in a theory that we are going to teach you. Instead, for example, if I'm teaching you subnetting and CIDR practice, so I will bring the real time experience, how the issues comes with the subnetting, how to fix those CIDRs, right? So these kind of things, any trainer in AimNxt, trust me, any trainer in AimNxt is a working professional. So it means they're working 6 to 8 hours in a different job, and with a passion, we are coming out of that and trying to teach you with a real-time experience and expertise and the knowledge of last 16 to 18 years. And our director, our founder, having more than 22 years of experience in IT with a good contact. So he will take some leadership classes as well, or some classes in out of these 9, where you will see that beauty of this experience and expertise, while these kind of people teaching you, are giving a training to you. So there are the foundational topics like routing basics, switching. There are very foundational things that are needed for any network engineer. Different routing protocols like BGP, OSPF, EIGRP. Maybe it's not mentioned there, but we'll teach you with the lab scenarios how those BGPs, RIP, OSPF, static routing, default routings are configured, and what is the overall overview of this routing domain, and there are different kinds of routing and routing protocols. We'll try to explain everything end to end with the real-time scenarios and lab scenarios as well. The switching basics, particularly VLANs, trunking, STP, VTP, 802.1q encapsulations, with all the technicalities involved in the switching and the latest switching models. When you go to an interview, how the interview pattern will be there on a switching, how the interview pattern will be on the routing, how do you answer that, or how you need to answer that question. It's not just understanding the technology, but how you speak about the technology very efficiently to crack the interviews. We'll try to incorporate that in the training of these 45 days or whatever the classes that were mentioned. NAT and PAT concept, they're very a fundamental thing that works in the internet world. Without NAT or PAT, internet does not work, even for your mobile, even for your laptop. To get an internet, NAT and PAT concept is important. So you will understand the real time how those are working, how those are designed and all. There are different kind of network services where you are seeing only DHCP, DNS, ARP over there, but there are different kind of network services like SNMP, SMTPs, different kind of SSH, Telnet, right? Monitoring, syslogging, all these common network services which are desperately needed for any a basic network engineer will be taught and trained um, thoroughly as part of the course. Yeah, ports and protocol and services obviously it's part of the same common network services, but ports, protocols, protocol numbering services, very foundational and very important for any engineer to grow and evolve himself as in the future. Even if you go to cybersecurity, you need these protocols and services. Even if you go to information security, you need that. So the foundation that we are trying to implant in your minds, this as part of this course, right, which are desperately needed for throughout your life. Whether you will be in a network engineer or you will be promoting yourself as a cybersecurity engineer or information security engineer, all these are needed, desperately needed for your um, uh, uh, throughout your life in a way I can say. The packet flow, Wireshark, and firewall concepts is anyway that we would be covering as part of the L1 course. So these are the foundational courses. See, don't think that these are only 10 classes that we are covering as part of L1, but every concept will take 2-3 classes also, and some sort of labs also needed, where 1 or 2 or 3 labs may run on 1 or 2 topics. For example, if you take routing, you will take at least 3-4 labs on the routing itself and the switching itself. Means you will be spending more than 10 classes or 12 classes on 2-3 concepts itself. Maybe we'll complete the concept, but the theory will be complete, but the practicality is still going on, in terms of practice session, in terms of homework session, in terms of lab session, that still be continuing. And every day that evolving scenarios will come into the picture while we're teaching, and all the correlations between all these topics will be covered. And before we jump into the L1, L2 for the next 10 minutes. So any questions so far? Okay, one more ask. Any questions so far, and anything, any doubt is okay. Like, what we are teaching, how we are teaching. Any question is okay. Like, you want to know anything about the course, module, or anything fine.
Yeah, hi Shrikant, this is Vamshi. I'm AimNxt from AimNxt. Actually, here one student is there, Soumit. He's having around 8 years of experience.
Hmm.
He's like, I think he's working as an L2. Soumit, you there?
Hi, Sumit.
I think he's having some issue. But, Soumit, if
Okay.
you have any queries, just
Yeah, Vamshi.
just
Yeah, you can go ahead, Srikant. Yeah, I'm listening actually. I'm good until now. Uh, If I have
Okay.
any doubts, I can raise the question. Yeah.
So, Amit, just in brief 30 seconds to 1 minute. So, when you say you are 8 years of experience, in which
Yes.
domain you are, or
Uh,
what exactly you are looking for with an 8 years of industry experience? What exactly? Just for the people who are here, what's your expectation to
uh,
enroll for this course?
Actually, to enroll for this course, I need like in-depth knowledge on CCNP. Basically, I went for the job for a network admin 7 years back. So after that, still in the same company. So to upskill, to level up. Yeah.
Great. So, see, so far we discussed about Summit. Maybe while I'm talking, you will get this part where the kind of thing that you are looking for, I'm going to cover in
Mhm.
next 5-10 minutes easily.
Okay.
See, this is L1, right?
Yes.
So far we covered L1. L1 is for, as I mentioned, even here or earlier also, we have the guys who are very freshers to the domain, very freshers to the career, very freshers to the networking and IT. For them, we always prefer to have an L1 session or L1 training. But the kind of working professionals, so you're already in the market, you're already doing an IT job or network admin job or some job related to IT or infrastructure, that's fine. We always suggest you to go for an L2. L2 covers, in a different way. You may see the same concepts for sure, because again, you need this, that dots connection. For example, if I directly go and teach you about BGP multipathing, which is a part of a CCNP or L2 course, right? You should understand what is a multi-hop first. Then how this routing protocol works and attributes, right? So that's the reason we cover this very quickly. Then the same concepts will be covered very extensively as part of L2, along with along with the complementary of Palo Alto and FortiGate firewall, in-depth knowledge of all these 20 classes for each topic. Means this covers end-to-end the CCNP level knowledge of routing, switching, and also the FortiGate firewall and Palo Alto firewall. Also, interestingly, you see here a fundamental complementary class on Zscaler and cybersecurity and information security models. What does this one do, right? This one, I'm going to explain you with a real-time dashboard. What is a cybersecurity? What is the information security? How come you achieve that Zscaler cybersecurity with a Zscaler? How do you secure your internet outbounds, right? All these are part of, see, it's not just a firewall protecting all your network, right? There are various modules that needed in a corporate infrastructure or enterprise network to secure your network, to establish a network. First, you need to establish a network, which is covered in CCNP or CCNP routing switching. Then, how you achieve the security on top of that will be covered as part of these two sessions, Palo Alto and FortiGate firewall and this Zscaler session. So, all together, you see here, Palo Alto from the scratch, introduction of Palo Alto and their architecture, how a PAN OS. PAN OS is nothing but a Palo Alto OS. Every vendor has their own OS. Suppose Windows having their own OS, 40 OS, FortiGate having their own OS, Cisco have their own OS called IOS, right? Juniper having their own OS called Juniper OS, JunoOS, and Palo Alto having an OS called PAN OS. Likewise, how that every OS and this architecture is defined. For example, if you go to an interview next time after completing this course, you should be very confident talking about what is the packet flow, how this OS architecture works, how this different kind of types of deployment works in the Palo Alto. How do you route the traffic? How do you switch the traffic? How do you virtual the traffic? How do you build the routing sessions? How do you build the perimeter edges with the Palo Alto firewall? How do you build the HS? How do you build the NATs, PADs, security policies, UTM profiles, security profiles, filterings, content filterings, everything will be covered with a lab. You see, for every session, there is a lab. You'll be given a real-time Palo Alto device. We'll put a real-time Palo Alto device in front of you. So you just need to, make your hands dirty, as much as possible to get these lab scenarios done. You'll understand. Once we teach it, we'll give the lab scenario, we'll ask you to do, and once you complete it, the kind of mistakes that you do or the kind of confusion that you have, we'll try to, clear that in the next sessions so that you will work on top of that. So you see, FortiGate and Palo Alto firewall having the same kind of concepts, but they work into the two OS architectures work in a different scenario. If you see here, the NAT again work here also in FortiGate. NAT is same. If you see here, we also talked about NAT in the basic L1, but how that NAT implemented in the Palo Alto firewall will be discussed in very detail here. Okay, the same NAT policies, how this is going to be deployed in FortiGate firewall. And in related to that, how you deploy that in a Cisco router, which will be covered here. Right? And there are various NATs nowadays. Source NAT, destination NAT, dynamic NAT, static NAT, PAT, Uternat, different zone NATs. All these NATs all these topics will be covered. So this is part of L1 and L2. Maybe I think I hope I explained in enough way, but if you have any questions, you can still come back here for next 5 minutes. We can still extend. I have a hard stop at 5:45, so that's the reason I'm trying to conclude. But 6 minutes we have where you can still ask any questions if you have any.
Yeah, what about SD-WAN? Like, is there any concepts like SD-WAN here?
See, SD-WAN.
Like nowadays, like everyone going to migrate to SD-WAN, right? So, is there any way to discuss for that technology?
We are not covering as part of L2 SD-WAN. The reason is SD-WAN itself is a different module. But if any students like you, if you are interested to have one or see, if you talk about SD-WAN, understanding basic SD-WAN is enough when you actually go through this one. These 3 or 4 topics, right? When you go through this, you understand how this underlay overlay concept works. But how typically a Cisco Viptela or FortiGate SD-WAN or Velo Cloud or Silver Peak or Riverbed, there are various modules and various vendors in the SD-WAN. If and if you need that, yes, we can extend 1 or 2 sessions separately by an SD-WAN experts. Listen here, SD-WAN expert who is actively working on the SD-WAN technology by the time, right? That guy come in and teach you for 1 or 2 classes. Depends on the number of students enrolled. See, this is a massive course. If you opt for L2, this is a massive course. So you are covering the CCNA, you're covering CCNP, you're covering the Cisco IOS, IOS XE, and the Palo Alto, FortiGate, and different concepts incorporated as part of this firewalling. If you still need one more technology to add to your profile, that's okay. Still, if you want to talk in an interview, okay, if someone asks you what is SD-WAN, if you need 10 minutes confidence to talk about it, definitely we can discuss that as an ad hoc. If you see here, there is one thing mentioned. This is always read out. What is that? Can someone read out? 3 additional classes on any chosen topic. Sumit, if you choose SD-WAN, I want to know what is SD-WAN. Okay? It's a student-wise, it's person-wise, topic-wise. Or you miss something for some personal emergency, you didn't attend the meeting or class that day, and you want to have that revision because it's an interesting topic. Yes, you can still have, you can either refer or the recording session, or else you can ask for an intellectual meeting where we can talk and we can discuss that. Someone waiting in the lobby.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
That's what I say. These 3 additional classes you can opt, but should be related to the networking. Don't ask like rocket science or AI. Some people are so crazy. Last meeting or before meeting, I think someone asking, would you teach 2 classes AI? AI? Oh, interesting. Technically not. You can opt a course or a topic which is related to network. Yes. We are more than, it's a more than pleasure to have these kind of interesting sessions ad hoc basis. Someone can opt Zscaler, someone can opt SD-WAN, someone can ask Prisma, someone can opt whatnot, CrowdStrike. How does that work? How does that endpoint management work? For example, right? You can have that brief 30 minutes, 1 hour session, how these endpoint managements work, right? How that SIM tools works, for example. Yes, if you are interested, yes, you can definitely. Well, as we have another 2 minutes, I can still answer 2 questions quickly. If anyone having any question.
Hi, Srikanth.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, coming to the OSPF and BGP, are you going to explain in depth or basic level of explanation? So
Okay,
actually, I want to know OSPF, LSA types, and stub areas.
Are you opting L1 course or L2 course?
L2.
If it is L2, that's what I say, right? You will see the depth.
Yes.
From the packet types. There are 5 packet types in OSPF, and there are 7 LSA types. Of course, it's 11 LSA types where 7 are very familiar. The other 4 are reserved or where we don't use in a native enterprise network. You will see end to end. What is an LSA? What is a database? What is in a router 1 LSA? Okay, what is LSA type 2? What is not so stub area? What is a stub area? What is area 0? Everything you will see.
Okay, and coming to the wireless part, so are you going to teach us?
Yeah, so I forgot to say one thing. Whether you ask or not, that is our bread and butter. Okay, where wireless will be taught by default to everyone. Means even when you opt RL2, wireless is part of the course. Okay, the frequency types, the spectrum, the latest models, how the wireless works, what is 2.4, what is 5, what is a controller, how the basic Aruba works, how Cisco works, how Ruckus works, everything will be taught. That is you don't need to opt for that. And that 3, that is wireless is excluded from this additional course. Maybe I have to mention that somewhere. Didn't I mention anywhere?
No.
Maybe this is not updated one, but okay, I have to amend this one, or I have to check with the updated one from the HR team. Yeah. In short, you'll be getting a wireless knowledge. Means if you go to an interview, you will see you confidently will talk about wireless for 15 minutes. Trust me, after this course.
Yeah, Srikanth, and so are you going to explain A to Z, I mean, configuration part also? Yeah, even in Aruba as well as Cisco wireless controllers.
Yes, we will try to show you. See, it's like you ordered a biryani, but expecting to taste all the material or all the curries in the hotel. That's still okay for us. To the possible extent, we will try to show the configurations of Aruba, the configurations of Cisco WLC, and we'll give the lab scenario for Cisco WLCs. Not for Aruba. Aruba will show you the dashboards. Zscaler will show you the dashboards, but don't expect that Zscaler also you need a training module, lab scenarios. For Aruba also you need, Rakas also you need. That's not possible because all those are license based, right?
Yeah,
but
yes.
we will show you the dashboards. We'll give you the dashboards during the session. We'll show you how those, for example, if you see Aruba nowadays having the cloud-based controller called Aruba Central, right? So if you play something in your resume saying I know Aruba, you should also able to talk about Aruba Central. That will ensure you are very confident to talk about it.
And how many days wireless part will complete?
Complete means?
How many days it will take to finish wireless part?
See, it depends. It depends. We will incorporate that wireless either in the middle of the session or in the last, preferably in the last, because wireless need some in-depth knowledge to understand. Unless you understand the frame type, right?
Right.
Here, for example, if I start wireless at the start, you won't understand the frame types.
Correct.
So mostly we'll incorporate that in the last. See, these are all as mentioned, right? But usual practice is we extend the classes. The reason is either you ask more doubts, either some intellectual people takes much time to get the queries clarified, then 1 or 2 or 4 or 5 extends, right? Based on that, we will try to cover everything. For example, you need a Cisco wireless concept. If you take 1.5 hour session, at least in the 3 days to cover this wireless. I'm talking only theory, not the practicality. Practicality, again, after the class, you have to complete on the same day. It is better to complete on the same day. And you can, again, you can use the time once the class is done for next 1 hour, then you can use the rest of the time to practicing it so that you will get a more knowledge.
And coming to the VPN, IPsec will comes under
L2,
CCNP or firewall?
L2. L2 course, you will be getting that, you see, all the VPN and VPN related stuff comes both in FortiGate and also in Palo Alto.
Okay.
What you're going to do, you know, you are going to build a VPN tunnel from Palo Alto to FortiGate, right? That's where
Yeah.
you will be covering both.
Okay. Thank you.
You need other end device also, right? In real time, what you do, you build a VPN tunnel from one office to another office, means one firewall to another firewall. So that's where you're going to do. You're going to cover a site-to-site VPN, right? From Palo Alto to FortiGate. So you will understand both how to configure a VPN in FortiGate, how to configure a VPN in Palo Alto.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir.
I extended 5 minutes, so last 1 minute. If you have any questions, still you can question me. Praneeth G, it seems like you joined a bit late, but I'm not sure whether you got it or not. For your sake, these are the course module where you can also take from one of our AimNxt HR. They will guide you. These are all will be.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, these are all basic. Till here, it's a basic. L1 course will have all these topics covered. Okay.
Okay.
And L2, along with that, we'll cover these ones and also a wireless course as part of that. It's not a course, wireless. It's an incorporate topic of as part of both L1 and L2.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, I'll take last 30 seconds for the placements that we have, the recent placements. You see, all these guys are trained under AimNxt and recently placed in various companies. Oh, sorry if you're not seeing my screen. Let me share. Okay. Pranit, I was talking about this course content. You can actually grab from one of our HR. If you request them, they will try to share all these topics with you. Second thing, these are the placements I'm talking about. So these are all the guys recently placed in different organizations. After post completing, majority are from L1. Even after completing the L1, they're able to crack this, basic jobs. You see, these guys are the freshers, but yet to crack these jobs in OSA Digital recently. These are very recent guys. Our students, very recent guys. Few list yet to update here. There are few more guys recently got another jobs. This list yet to update. Mostly by this week you will get the more updates here. Okay, thank you. Thanks for your time. If you have any questions, you can still ask me in next 1 minute. If not, you can actually sign off.
So total, how many days the course would be?
So if it is L1, instead of days, we prefer to say via classes. How many effective classes that you attend, right? So the effective classes would be 30 to 45 for any course.
Some counselors said me like 3 to 4 months the complete course will be.
Sorry?
Some counselor guided me like the course will be total 3 to 4 months.
The reason is, see, for example, if I talk this concept in 2 classes, the practice needed another 3 classes. So how many, so 3 classes means you have to come that day to the lab, book the lab, and spend those 3 days where you will not actually concentrate on other classes by the time. So we'll hold those. So this concept itself takes 3-4 days. So if you take like that, or one day we cover both the topics where your lab session may run for next 2-3 days to understand it, right? So likewise, yes, it's a 3 days, there are holidays, and we may ask you to allocate some sort of weekends as well. You see, it's again your accepted weekends, 4-hour class where we will revise, or we will talk in extensive topics, or we'll be getting some guest speakers. Depends on that. So those weekends also counted separately.
Okay.
As I mentioned, right, we are all the trainers in AimNxt are working and experienced, expertise people. So it means even if someone asks you to come on a weekend for some guest speaker coming in, it doesn't matter. You can still come and take that feed of the technology into your minds. Maybe you're off of the course by the time, and if someone is coming and talking about wireless, why not just grab it? What they are talking on the basics, how the market is, right? In the end, you should be fulfilled with the technology, and you should be very confident to talk about the technology and networking for 15 to 30 minutes in an interview without any hesitation. That's the motto where definitely would crack the interviews, the next level interviews. Whether you are an L1 or L2, end of the day, you should actually display yourself very confidently with the technology, with the technical words. Saying, for example, I'm saying myself, okay, I know networking. Then if I talk about, I know switching, I know routing, I know the routing protocols, I know BGP, I know MPBGP, I know OSPF. Someone is talking about OSPF, LSA types. Yes, if you talk in that way, job is yours. Our motto is to, enable you and bring you to that position where you will be able to talk about the technology confidently in the interviews.
Yes, sir.
Last question I can take, because my meeting starts in next 4 minutes. I have to attend a meeting. I extended for 15 minutes. Still, I can answer next 4 minutes because you guys are asking some interesting questions.
Yes, can you explain about VSS stacking switches?
So
Does it comes under?
are you working on any VSS switches, or did you ever notice
Yeah, if I attend many interviews, some people are asking stack questions like stack switches and how to upgrade the iOS in stack.
Yep. So all these things, right, you can actually choose as part of this one. No worries. Means the additional classes that you have, or you can raise a doubt, you can personally meet a trainer, and you can still get that knowledge. VSS, VPC are stack switches. Stack switches are basically covered. Basically, we can cover as part of the switching. But VSS and VPC are the data center technologies, we can say. VPC is more on the data center, VSS on the LAN technology. It is nowadays it's a Cisco proprietary. So we can discuss that if you're interested, and if you want to cover that quickly for 30 minutes, how that work, how those control plane, data planes separate, how the stack rings works. Why not? You can simply ask that extra 30 minutes and you will get that covered. As I mentioned, right, it's a massive course. Don't think that everything can be placed in this simple one PDF. right? So there are a lot of things as you pass through. Uh, you'll understand if someone say something, someone talk about some technology term, then you can always ask that doubt and you'll be covered as part of that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.